Hello there. What is going on, everyone? Star Wars Legion is getting a points update, long awaited, and coming soon in December. We're going to talk a little bit about the points, some of the things maybe I think might happen. I want to hear some of the things that you think might happen, and I think this is just another good sign of why Legion players don't really have to worry very much about the future of Legion, even though some folks are very worried with the announce of Shatterpoint. I think points updates and support like this is a great example of why there's not so much to worry about as maybe you had already worried about. So we're going to talk about that in today's video. If you are new here to the channel, I do invite you to stick around, like the channel, subscribe, share the video, all that good stuff, all those things that are, all these little buttons down here, except for the thumbs down one. We don't want to hit that one. That was a terrible one. Only bad people hit that one. Anyway, we're doing a lightsaber giveaway right now. So if you want to enter to win that, it's going to be a $200 Amazon gift card that you can use for a lightsaber or something for Legion or for whatever else you want. That's going to be running through the end of the year. All you have to do to enter to win that is to be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. Also, don't forget, during the month of December, I'm still doing 12 Days of Life Day, and that's going to also be this year. I do it every year, and it's going to be a bunch of giveaways, and we're probably going to do a 12 Days of Life Day preview episode one of these days. Maybe it'll be a live stream where we kind of sit down and talk and kind of showcase maybe a few of the prizes and surprises that we have received lately. So that's going to be fun. Also want to thank today's sponsor, Luxury Playstyle. Amazing full metal tokens. Head over to luxuryplaystyle.com. These are amazing gifts for the gamers in your life. Also, let folks know that if they are looking for something really special for your stocking, these are amazing options. If you use code Crabbok VIP, you're going to save 15%. So head over to luxuryplaystyle.com. Check out these amazing double-sided full metal tokens. They're going to make you want to play your games more. I'm sure you're going to love them. All right, so AMG has confirmed to some folks through social media postings that Legion is expecting a points update in December. So we are going to be getting some points. And so while this happens a little bit more frequently for like games like X-Wing, which happen to get, they'll get new expansions that come out, and we need points for those, so they have to update the document to include all the points for everything. Points for Legion expansions as they come out are printed on the cards, so that means we don't necessarily see points adjustments as frequently. There's not as much pressure to update these PDFs. There's not as much pressure to kind of address balance game wide, but there's still a lot of games being played. There's still a lot of data going in. And I want to talk about some of the things that we think we might see. You may have guessed one of the things that I think is going to see a points adjustment based on the graphic that's up here right now. Any guesses? Hands? Anybody? Yes, the pikes. I definitely expect the pikes to see a points increase, primarily because they're much better than I think a lot of us thought they were going to be. I looked at them initially, and I think I looked at them kind of in a bubble. And just thought, like, oh, well, they don't seem all that great. Like, their dice aren't all that great. They have white defense dice, and their weapons aren't that great, and all of these things that weren't really the main part of them. And until you started looking at, I'm like, oh, well, they have, they get a free dodge, and then they have danger sense. So if you shoot them, and like maybe you don't get any damage through, but then you also factor in danger sense, they're gonna have suppression, so they roll in even extra dice, and then they do have that surge for defense, even though it's white dice. But and so they get that free dodge token. But then they're capo. When you think about the capo, I think capos may go up as well. I would actually probably rather capos go up just than pikes on their own, because I think pikes on their own aren't really the problem. It's just when you take the aggregate of everything that makes pikes super competitive, and it's things like having vigilance in the raid, in the group, and it's like having Pike Syndicate Capo for every unit of pikes. That's like saying, oh, you know what, you will be able to keep your token. Maybe you can keep two, depending on how many vigilances we have out there, right? And by the way, you're also going to get one for yourself by not getting an order, and I'm going to get one, and I'm going to pass it over to you. So you're going to start off with, you're going to start off with two, and at the end of the round, you're going to keep at least one, and then get two more. And then maybe I'm going to take a dodge action and pass that to you. And then when you activate, maybe you're going to take a dodge action and maybe shoot, and then put some more suppression out there. And so, like, by the time you try, and plus, Add in the fact that you hide these guys behind heavy cover. Now all of a sudden they're canceling 5 to 7 dice every time somebody tries to attack them. It's really insane. And I mean, who knows? Maybe I'm totally wrong, and they'll go the other way. Maybe they'll get the points decrease, and maybe they'll get nimble on top of that. Right? That would be insane. But yeah, I do expect the pikes to definitely increase in points cost. I feel like there's a lot of the longer range units. I wouldn't be surprised if we see more long range units, range 4 characters go up. I wouldn't be surprised if we see snipers go up. Just because, like, my guess is, knowing how like AMG kind of looks at games, maybe they'll try to take like an X-wing approach and force people a little bit more into close quarters engagements. Maybe range 2 characters will go down in points. Like maybe fleet troopers will go down. Maybe the Black Sun will go down. Maybe they'll flip flop the point cost between these guys and Black Sun. I wouldn't be surprised if we see between a 5 and 10 point increase for pikes across the board. That wouldn't surprise me. Or maybe they'll get a variable cost where they cost differently depending on which faction they're in. Although I don't expect that to actually happen, but that would be interesting. And I wouldn't be surprised if maybe some of their heavies also went up. That's a possibility. I think if the capo does go up, I think it would be maybe just the leader unit himself. I don't necessarily have as much of an issue with the capo as the personnel upgrade. But yeah, so that's some of the thoughts. I think a lot of people want the Republic to see some points reductions to make the basic Republic era units a little more competitive. I wouldn't be surprised if we see ARC troopers maybe go down. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some points reductions specifically for 501st related units to try to make that battle force a little more competitive. Speaking of battle forces, I know Blizzard Force is a popular one right now. It won't be surprised if we see some point increases on some of the Imperial stuff. I don't know if bikes need an increase, or maybe the ATST might. Although ATST has bounced around so much, I think it's in a really good place right now. I'm seeing more and more ATSTs and everywhere I look, and I think that's a great thing. It's my favorite unit in the game. It's beautiful, and it's like one of the best miniatures of all time. Is absolutely breathtaking. And especially for being a launch wave miniature, it did fantastic. So I'm really happy with where the ATST is right now, but I feel like it might be, I don't know if it needs the nerf, or maybe some of the things around it that enable it to be as successful as it is could use a nerf. Because if you take an ATST kind of on its own and you don't do a build all around it, it's still good, but maybe not as good. So maybe it's just a synergy and some of the other things that are in Blizzard Force that might need to be looked at. I'll be interested to see if we see any other reductions for specific upgrade cards, certain underused upgrade cards, certain overused upgrade cards. I wonder if Force Push will get another change. I know certain things that have been changed quite a bit. I'm wondering if some of the old bounty hunters will get some changes. I don't expect as many changes to some of the newer units, though. Wouldn't be surprised if units like Din Djarin and IG-88 and end up remaining exactly as they are. But I do expect maybe certain older units. I would love to see the Black Sun get a points reduction. They're one of my favorite units to run, except it's just hard to run them in competitive games because you end up with all this really long range kind of sit and wait and stall, wait, hide in safety, wait from safety, and then once your opponent's out of activations, then at the very, very end kind of move in and try to win. And so maybe they'll take some balance adjustments and kind of push it towards that area. Again, we're gonna have to see. It may be very, very few points adjustments, but if anything else, if nothing else, I do expect the pikes to receive at least a slight bump in point costs. My guess is between 5 and 10, maybe somewhere in the middle, maybe like 7 or 8 wouldn't be surprising to me. Maybe 8. 8 sounds good. Again, if you flip-flopped them with the Black Sun, maybe. But I think this is a good thing, right, for the game. So I want to talk a little bit about some of the things that people are worried about. Shatterpoint, again, this isn't really a Shatterpoint video, but a lot of folks have said, oh my gosh, there's another game that's, it looks certainly like it's going to be similar enough to Legion that that means AMG is not going to support Legion anymore or whatever. And I don't think we have to worry about that. Not for a long time. I mean, every game gets less and less support as time goes on. Well, I say every game, but it is typical for many games to get less support as time goes on. Armada has very little support right now, but is still occasionally getting support. It still occasionally gets, FAQs. Erratas has still got the rules for them. Legion still has the rules for them. So like these things, the support is still there. There's actually a lot of stuff for Legion in the pipe beyond just this points update. We've got a ton of things coming out. We've got Boba Fett supposed to be coming out in December. We also have the Dark Troopers. We haven't even seen a full preview on those. Moff Gideon, we haven't seen a full preview on Moff Gideon. There's a whole lot we don't know about him and how he's going to work. The Imperial Remnant Battle Force, how that's going to work. What other battle forces are going to launch alongside that. We know Ewoks are coming next year. We also know Ahsoka for the Rebels is coming from Star Wars Rebels. We also know Asajj Ventress is coming for Star Wars Legion. We also know have Cody coming for the Republic. And of course, so we've got all this stuff on the horizon already. There's a lot of things to be excited about for Star Wars Legion. And on top of all those things, we're getting points adjustments. So not only are we getting new product, which is like one of the best things you can get, we're also getting balance updates for the core game, which is going to affect everything. And even if the day comes that like there is no more new product, balance updates or points adjustments kind of keep the game vibrant and keep us like reimagining lists and like, whoa, I couldn't have done that before, but now I can, So like all of these things, any one of these things are great, but the fact we have so many of these things, plus you consider we get, like some of the exclusive, miniatures, like extra miniatures or different bundles of things like the Battle Force packs, and how many, by the way, actually rewind a little bit because I know like some people are like, wait, the exclusive miniatures is kind of a letdown. Like depending on whether or not you got one, it can be a good thing or a bad thing. But at least it's new stuff and it's new sculpts and they're working on things. I know a lot of people are saying, with the Battle Forces, it's still the soft plastic. Well, maybe they'll still come back and redo them in hard plastic someday. I don't know if that's going to happen. I wouldn't guess that that's going to happen, but there's a lot of different options if they decide they don't want to make any more units. If they ever get to a point where they're like, hey, Legion is, it's got all the units that we want to put in there right now, of course. And I don't think that that's even going to happen anytime soon because you have so many Disney Plus shows. You got so much new content, so much new inspiration. I mean, gosh, how many of you guys are watching Andor right now? It's like there's tons of things that can go into this game, and so, as well as lots of other games. We got stuff in Andor for X-Wing and Armada too, folks. Andor is chock full of goodies. You should definitely check it out. But I don't think you have to really be worried. There's a lot of things in the pipe for Legion right now. A ton of content in the pipe, and AMG has been giving Legion a lot of attention ever since their acquisition of the X-Wing, Armada, and Legion. Legion's had the lion's share of the attention, and it still has a ton in the pipe. So I don't think you guys need to be worried anytime soon. But you also do need to be prepared for a lot of Shatterpoint coverage, especially next year. It's going to be a thing. Shatterpoint's going to get a lot of coverage because it's a new game and it's coming out. We still don't know that much about it. Of course, as we do learn more, I'll definitely bring it to you. I don't think it's going to play in the same way that Legion does. It's going to be a different game. AMG's made that very much clear. And of course, a lot of people say, well, yeah, but I'd rather judge that for myself, and I understand that. And I'm in the same ballpark. I'd rather judge for myself, and I'd rather see the rules and talk about them and learn how it plays and get my own playthroughs and make my own opinions. And of course, I'd love to be able to share that with you guys and keep the discussion going. If you want to do that, also a great place beyond the comments is also our Discord. We have a great Discord server. You should definitely check that out. So that's that's a whole lot about a whole little. We're getting a points update. It's going to be coming when it does come out. We'll be taking a look at the points, talking about what's changed, and doing the whole run through with that. So that'll be fun. That's coming in December. So those of you who are looking to change up your game, maybe as a holiday present, you're going to have that coming. So that's going to do it for today's video. I want to thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are absolutely out of this world. And may the Force be with you. Live long and prosper. Always trust strangers with candy. And I just made that one up. Actually, don't trust strangers with candy. Well, it depends what kind of candy. So make your own decisions, but make sure you get it in writing first. We'll talk to you later.